First divisional game of the year for the Titans. They are currently in 4th place in the 2-2 AFC South because they are the only team to not have played a divisional opponent yet. What are some things, before we dive into the Colts in particular, about this group in the AFC South? Because every year we come in, you look at the Titans schedule, you look at the landscape of the division, you feel like in your head you have a pretty decent understanding of what this group looks like. And then, of course, that gets shattered by a month in. And here we are a month in. And things that I think were pretty popular convention in August, it really has not come to fruition so far. A couple teams overachieving, one team in particular underachieving so far. What surprised you most about this division?
The 2 rookie quarterbacks being this good this soon.
Good answer. Yep.
CJ Stroud was my favorite quarterback in the draft coming out. I liked him exponentially more than Bryce Young. Was kind of low on Anthony Richardson as far as what he could be for the Colts immediately. Like, we all knew the ceiling was high, but this felt like a project. But even a guy like CJ Stroud has looked far more polished as a passer than I thought he would at this level behind that offensive line.
It's been less the output and more the output in the circumstance, right? It's been crazy how good he's been in such a bad situation.
I mean, he's throwing to Nico Collins, Robert Woods, and Tank Dell behind a really bad offensive line, and he's getting it done, and they're feisty at 2-2. And then, I mean, Anthony Richardson already being this good as a passer has been very surprising to me as well.
Have you seen the discourse today? Anthony Richardson's actually a bad quarterback online. That's the take today.
I haven't seen that. No, I'm saying to those people that are saying that.
I got you. Yeah. It's the ultimate. Have you actually watched Anthony Richardson litmus test? Because if you watched it, it's special. There's some special there.
Yeah, I mean, his ability to create explosive plays, not just on wide open receivers and deep balls, but fitting balls into tight windows. Obviously, we know what he can do with his legs, and then how his explosive athleticism has allowed them to run the ball successfully with Zach Moss and insert running back here. So how that might progress for Indianapolis moving forward as maybe Jonathan Taylor gets back into the mix. Very interesting.
Him back this week? I mean, we've known that it was technically possible.
I got to be honest. I kind of unplugged from that whole. Anytime I see Jonathan Taylor, I scroll at this point.
I'm with you. I knew it was possible that he's back this week, but now we know that they're saying he's maybe going to practice this week. If he is back, I don't expect a big impact from him. I don't think he's going to be the guy they have circled at the top of the whiteboard like he otherwise may be last year, for example.
Well, I mean, and Zach Moss has been good enough that
he's been good.
He's you stick with what works, I guess. But as far as the AFC is concerned, or AFC South is concerned, Trevor Lawrence has been okay overall. The Jags have obviously been underwhelming. I don't think Trevor Lawrence I don't think that falls on his shoulders.
I totally agree, and I'm glad because that's been my take that I've been the knives at your throat. What taker? That's me. Trevor's been good this year. The stuff around him's kind of sucked. It's kind of sucked so far.
Yeah.
And I think that their play calling is whack, by the way. Just Press Taylor for Titans fans, they should hope he calls plays all year long, but I don't think that will be the case.
Maybe. I'd like to see. Hey, I think the Jags I think people were a little too quick to
write them off or write them
off here. I think people pulled out the pitchforks after week 3 and a 1-2 start. I still think that's a pretty good team that, has the best quarterback.
We're still on the same page about it. Yep.
Could probably still win 10 games, 11 games. It is a tough schedule, so they don't have that going for them. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, biggest surprise, I like the immediate impact that Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud have had. And for a Titans fan, I'd be like, uh-oh, we already have Trevor Lawrence, and now these two guys look
the odd man out.
We look real good, real quick.
Yeah.
Our guy is inactive still, so I don't.
Yeah. Were you the one I was talking to in the press box on Sunday? It's this week 4, we got to see 5 rookie quarterbacks start.
We had Aiden
O'Connell. One of them was not Will Levis.
PTR, yeah.
In fact, he was not active. Not necessarily an indictment of him, but certainly not glowing praise of him. I agree with the general take on the AFC South. I do think it's one of those things. A lot of Titans fans this year, the talk was, well, this team, second place schedule, you're getting 4 games against the Colts and the Texans. Now it's like second place schedule, but you got to play 4 games against the Colts and the Texans. Though those 2 offenses, all of a sudden, no easy out. And, as the divisional games go, certainly room for some strange things. In this divisional game, Titans-Colts, we've already touched on how it couldn't be any bigger of a difference going from trying to defend one-legged Joe Burrow to containing Anthony Richardson in the pocket, containing that rushing ability. It's going to be such a different challenge for them. Do you think that they take the playbook that they have established for break glass in case of emergency when playing Lamar Jackson, when playing Josh Allen, these other rushing quarterbacks in the league that you have to contain? Is it going to be more of are we going to hear in the locker room this week a lot, contain, don't kill? Their favorite go-to with these passers that can run like this. Is it going to be a lot of capture, don't kill with these guys?
I hope so. Yeah, I think that's kind of what it'll look like. We know the Titans can stop the run for the most part. So
can they? Haven't heard that. I've heard no one mention that. Yeah.
Have they? How's this
decent run defense? I think. Yeah.
We know they can stop the run, and so it's all going to be about staying true to their rush lanes and not breaking contain, trying too hard to make something happen and get it, but go and get a sack or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is a great example of this last year in that overtime loss where the Titans,
or just any time they've played Patrick Mahomes, because he's done it every time.
Yeah. I mean, it was a game though that the Titans defense really limited what they were able to do passing the football and kind of really made the Chiefs work for every yard. And as that game started to come to a close, they lost that game because they broke contain on Patrick Mahomes a couple too many times, and he scrambled for first downs and eventually a touchdown.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson, far more dangerous even than Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
It's also probably a similar game plan to the one they had against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles last year. The only difference is that Jalen Hurts was able to throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure you're as worried about Michael Pittman Jr. and Mo Alley Cox. Like, it's a little bit of a different, weaponry and arsenal that the Colts
Alec Pierce, come on. Josh Downs,
I was going to say.
Respect Josh Downs. Is that the narrative here coming out of this?
I would respect
on this
Josh
show,
Downs
kind of, yes.
More than Alec Pierce.
I would
Pierce
agree
has
too.
been a dud this year, man. I don't know how familiar you are with the wide receiver play in Indianapolis. Alec Pierce, thumbs down so far.
Was a big Alec Pierce guy coming out of Cincinnati, and he was
yeah,
good
I know,
for
broke your heart.
3 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, I think, that needs to be the approach that they take is make sure you're forcing Anthony Richardson to throw the football and, force these receivers to create separation and for them to make plays throwing to these guys. And you're not dealing with the same level or caliber of weapons as you have in Philadelphia or some of these Kansas City, some of these other places. And if they can do that, I think you start making teams make long, sustainable drives that, opens up opportunities for turnovers and big plays from your front four to get them off the field.
Let me run this take by you. In this game, the guy that I'm worried about in this vein, containing, capturing, not killing, I think this is the put up or shut up game for Harold Landry. He's been better each and every week. We know coming back from the ACL, there's this, you got to do the time to get back. It's just a matter of how it works. In the past, it's his athleticism as an edge that they've really leaned on, relied upon in games like these to set that edge and to contain a guy and not let him not only slip around the edge, but slip through the cracks on the interior. I don't know if he's got that juice right now. And we saw Travis Gibson get a couple of snaps and make a play last week. It was funny how Vrabel answered you guys yesterday, immediately cutting off the question about Gibson, saying he's going to play more. He's earned that. What does that concern you at all? And do you think we maybe see even more of depth edge cycled in because of that?
I think we'll start to see it as the year goes on. Like as far as like rotating in some of this edge depth. And it is one of the biggest strengths of the team is the fact that like Rashad Weaver and Travis Gibson don't really need to play like at all, which is like crazy. As far as Harold Landry's concerned, it's like, again, it's a tempered expectation for me. Like, he is such a good player, but if you were expecting him to come out here and have like 11, 12, 13 sacks again, I think you were expecting a little too much from somebody off the ACL surgery. So he can say all he wants, like, oh, I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling stronger. Like, this is the game. This is the game. I think you might just have to come to grips with the fact that, like, Harold Landry won't be the same guy this season. And
Right.
he can be that guy moving forward. I still think he needs to be out there and can be impactful for them in some ways. I agree with you. I don't think he has that same sort of like burst or juice right now in his leg that he needs to be that dynamic. About Travis Gibson in this game, this would actually be the last time I want to play him. Travis Gibson is a guy that can win his one-on-one and has tunnel vision and blood on his eyes going after a quarterback.
Right. See ball, hit
He's
ball.
the exact guy that Anthony Richardson would sidestep and
Yeah,
beat for a
that's
25-yard
fair,
gain.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I watched in Chicago for 4 years.
Yes, you did.
I have seen this guy get sack after sack after sack. And similar to like a Yannick Ngakoue, that's all he can do is get sack after sack after sack. So I think Harold's speed to the perimeter could help them against the run or in contain. I think this is a game that he might not get, a sack or 2 sacks, but that he can actually have a big impact for them. Also, like, they didn't have an Azeez Al-Shire on this defense last year when they were dealing with some of these rushing quarterbacks. And as we saw against the Bengals, that man flies to the football. So I think that's a pretty good omen for
Heat-seeking
this
missile.
week.
Yeah, no, I agree.